Has there ever been a time in your life where you've been chasing after a big goal, a dream, and things just weren't working out right and you really wanted to just quit and give up? See some nods. You guys are with me here? Well, I'll tell you what, that happened to me. It happened back one day, back in college. I had enough. I was playing college football, and I called my coach, told him I was done, and I felt like a real loser when I called my parents and said I was quitting college football. You see, I wasn't a quitter, and that day I'd had enough. I just felt like there was no way I was going to see this through, and I had a dream years earlier, and it started with I dream of playing college football. So my dream started back when I was in high school. We had a real promising senior class. We went 4-1 at the beginning of our senior year, and then we proceeded to lose 5 games because a lot of my teammates in high school thought it was more important to drink and party versus win games. And I didn't want to end football that way. Really, frankly, I was just really kind of feeling like lost. Like I didn't want it to end that way. Football was such a big part of my life. So a new dream emerged. I decided I was going to play college football, and not just at any college. I was going to go to play Division II college football because I could earn an athletic scholarship where I could play at a kind of a medium level, not big time Division I or little time Division III, but Division II was about the right fit for me. And not only did I pick Division II, I picked Mankato State, which was a college about an hour and a half from my house, but it was actually, to make things even more challenging, it was in arguably the hardest Division II conference in the country. So I was under-recruited, I was undersized, but I like challenges. So I was like, I'm ready to take on the challenge. So I dove in to the football life, working out, eating, and then I came on as a walk-on in college. And a walk-on, just for you guys that don't know what that is, basically, since I didn't have a scholarship, I walked on and agreed to practice with the team and basically be a cannon fodder for the older players. So basically, I was going to be a dummy. And I was, but it was worth it to me because my dream was big, and I liked big dreams. I wanted a big challenge. So that day, though, I'd had enough. It'd been 3 years of enduring physical beatdowns from the upperclassmen, the bigger and older players, on a daily basis, being made to be a dummy sometimes, laying on the ground, letting the older players run over me, which is pretty humiliating. There was my position coach who had his boys, guys that could be lazy and not play well, but maintain their position because he liked them, because they were his buddies. And then there was the fact that was frustrating was, even though I was taking beatings from the older players, I was getting better and I was beating some of the scholarship players. It just felt like I was never going to see progress. So I had an epiphany, though, after that, and I decided I'm going to wait till spring football. It's only a couple weeks away, and I'm going to make a deal with myself. I'm going to go through spring football, and if I don't see anything after that, I will be done. Then I've kind of laid it all out there. I've left everything on the field, to use a football term. So, needless to say, I went through spring football. Then the smoke cleared after spring football. The coaches called me up to the office and offered me a scholarship. Now, mind you, I had 2 goals going into college football. One was to get a scholarship. The other one was to be a starter. One goal was completed. So, then we moved into the next fall. The next fall, I went in and things changed. All of a sudden, on the scene, my position coach that had all his boys left, and a new position coach emerged. His name was Coach Mussman. Coach Mussman was a different type of coach. He'd actually played the position that he was coaching, and he'd played at a high level, and he knew the position well. And he taught us how to play smart, how to play with attitude, he was more of a technician. He taught us the techniques we needed to learn. But probably the best thing about Coach Mussman is he was very encouraging and positive, and he didn't show favoritism. And frankly, it kind of ticked off some of the other guys because there was no favoritism. Everything was objective. It was based on how you played. So the playing field was leveled. There was a new sheriff in town. So early in that season, I was that encouragement Coach Mussman gave me was put to the test right away. It was actually very useful because against one of the best teams in the country, the player that was in front of me, a good friend of mine who was an excellent player, talented player, went down early in the game with a knee injury, and I was thrust into action. And I responded to the call. I played out of my mind. I remember that game. I played out of my mind. I finally got my chance, and boy, did it come. It didn't come the way I wanted to, but I was ready. And from then on, I was a starter all the way through my junior year, all the way through my senior year. Even when that player I replaced came back, he still didn't get the position back from me. Now, along the way, it wasn't all rainbows and unicorns. So I was, I experienced some conflict. So there was the derogatory comments that was from some of the other players that felt they should be playing before me, and some of the coaches. They like, why is a walk-on playing? In fact, one night after a game in the bar, one of the seniors cornered me, and he just proceeded to lecture me on how he felt he should start, and he was basically felt he got screwed over, but he didn't deserve to, because in my mind I knew he spent all summer drinking and getting fatter and more out of shape. I busted my butt, so I wasn't buying what he was selling. Then right before my senior year was my girlfriend at the time, who I had been serious with, who I was just in love with at the time, and she came out and told me right before my senior year, my first game my senior year, that she'd been cheating on me, and she was basically dumping me for another guy. And I remember being really emotional, but then something rose up inside of me where I said, you know what, as much as this hurts, this vision's bigger than you are, and I'm going to see this thing through. So, needless to say, I saw this thing through. My football career ended at Nebraska-Omaha, one of our conference rivals, just destroying them 54-7. And I remember after the game, riding home in the bus. It was about a 5-hour bus ride back to Mankato where I played. And I remember feeling sad because it was over, but also feeling a real sense of, accomplishment, because I had been through so many trials and tribulations through this whole 5-year experience of college football, and I had really grown. And I was, I had learned 3 things: how important it was to have a vision and goal in front of you, and to have that written down and have it clear. You see, even when things got bad, I could see myself running out on the field being a starter for Mankato, and I could see that vision in front of me, and I had my goals really defined. My college football experience was about being a starter and getting a scholarship to help my parents out, and those 2 things were accomplished. So having that clear vision, having it written down, having it clear was a big part of my success. Number 2 is having a guide. Now, I remember I said I had 2 goals. I accomplished the scholarship goal on my own with not a lot of help from my position coach, but to become a starter, to have the confidence and the skills I needed to become a starter, Coach Mussman really, I felt, was the person I needed to help get me to that next level. And he was there, and he encouraged me, but he also taught me how to play smart, and he taught me how to play the position well and to be a smart player. And so having a guide to really lay out a plan and teach you how to get from point A to point B is crucial. So whatever you're struggling with, know that we all need coaches. I sell coaching. You buy what you sell. I always pay for coaching when there's something I need to learn, whether it be a marketing thing or something else. I always pay for coaching because I've realized you can get money back, you just can't get time back. And then number 3, this was probably a really pivotal thing, is just when things seem bad or they seem hopeless, a lot of times there's a big breakthrough coming right down the pipe. Remember I talked about how I almost quit. I almost missed out on all these experiences of playing, getting the scholarship, playing in the national playoffs, because I almost quit. And I stuck in there, and I pushed through that challenge, and you know what? I had a big breakthrough, and it was like new life. So, as I look back now in my life, at one time in my life that has significantly impacted the rest of my life, this is the time. Because those things I learned, that whole football experience that I went through, it's still programmed into me this day. And to this day, when I'm dealing with challenges, whether it be with my family, my business, in my personal life, or just life in general brings a lot of challenges, I revert back to that old football mentality. And going through those challenges, it was great to get the goals, but the person I became and the things I learned and the things that developed within me have stuck with me to this day.